Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Southern Wealth. I hope you are enjoying the end of the week. You have some plans for the weekend, and of course, next week is holiday season. So I do hope you have some plans with the family. I will be probably posting a couple of videos, but the markets, of course, will be closed and will be quiet in any case, even the ones are not closed. Volume typically tends to go quite down in this time period. However, because it's a low volume time season, sometimes we do see that some big parties take advantage to push the market higher. That's where the famous Christmas rally comes from. And the reason why it tends to happen consistently is indeed the fact that some players like to push the markets higher right before the end of the new year, and it's very easy to do once again because the volume decreases even worse than the summer period. In any case, what are we seeing? Same thing, bonds a bit down but keep quite stable. You see Bitcoin a bit down. You maybe start to see what I've been talking about, Ethereum to outperform Bitcoin. Let's see if this is the start of that movement that typically happens in January to the beginning of February. For sure, seems to be some front running at the moment. A bit early to say, but indeed this is what you start to want to see, which is basically to see Ethereum pumping even when Bitcoin is slightly down, and when both of them pump, Ethereum to actually pump the hardest. In the stock world, same thing, bit of volatility. We've been a bit up, now we ended up slightly down on the Dow Jones. Basically the S&P gave up pretty much all of the gains. The Nasdaq was slightly up, and again Russel 2000 has been predicted keeps on outperforming the other indices. That trend, in my opinion, will probably continue, but don't expect these things to move in a straight line. Meaning, no, stocks will not go every single day of the week up and forever. You're gonna have breathers, you're gonna have sell-offs. However, the most important is the dynamics in the market. So the overall dynamics. So don't get crazy about too much of daily movements, but basically, as long as the bond market keeps quite stable, as long as rate cuts are in the horizon, as long as no big, let's say, this will be more for January, as long as no big, let's say, outside the expected numbers come out, meaning, for example, as long as inflation doesn't come incredibly bad, or as long as the job reports don't come extremely strong, then we should continue to see the same trend. Once I see some clear signs of that trend changing, in my opinion, most likely will happen when we actually get to the point of the rate cuts. I will be talking about it, of course. Now, what I want to see to kind of confirmation on the crypto side that we are indeed going to have a typical bull cycle is I want to see Bitcoin above 45,000 and convincingly, meaning I don't want 45,000 and spike it right down. Talking about going above 45,000, we don't need to go to 55 or 52 or whatever. Just be above 45 for a bit of an extended period of time. 45,500, 45,750, 46,000, whatever the case may be, but consistently above that level. That will tell me that the cycle is indeed repeating. I want to see Ethereum outperform from now on Bitcoin. I want to see eventually, by the end of January, some real movement in the altcoins. And when I say real movement, I'm not talking about a 100% move on certain altcoins. I'm talking about 100% weekly moves on certain altcoins. That's what I'm talking about. And that's, of course, what I'm waiting for, what I'm looking for. And I do believe that the fundamentals of certain ecosystems, and you guys know exactly which ones I'm talking about. Talking about Chainlink, which of course already went up 300%. I'm talking about the Pulse Chain ecosystem. I'm talking about also to some degree the Cardano ecosystem. So I do see those ones with high likelihood of outperforming. Now, of course, as we move forward into the cycle, I want to see certain things happen. I want to see clear narratives for this bull cycle. Layer 1, dog coins, NFTs were the clear narratives of the previous cycle. I want to see clear narratives for this cycle. Maybe interchain operability, I think it's already one of them. But I want to see more. I want to see like things really completely outperforming others, including, by the way, meme coins as well. So don't get me wrong, those ones can make you a lot of money, but as I always call it, lottery tickets. Small money that I put in, see what happens. If it goes well for me, great. If it doesn't, not a big deal. That's the point of lottery tickets, right? If you're trying to chase the next Pepe, you see, this is the part that they don't tell you. Just on Pepe coins, there were like 10. One of them actually did really well in the middle of daily 10 to 20 coins that come out. So if you're gonna play that game of trying to find the next Pepe in the middle of literally thousands of coins, be my guest. I do believe it's it's like playing the lotto, right? So you're just hoping for the best. But in any case, for the upcoming new year, I do expect some strong movements in Ethereum, as I mentioned, in some of the altcoins. Stocks, I do think we want to put in a little bit of a breather, but I do think we're still going to see the S&P 500 putting in a new top, and then we will see from there. I do think it's going to be a volatile year. I think 2024 will be a volatile year with the elections, with the rate cuts, with the Bitcoin halving. So I think it's going to be a very eventful year. Commodities, look, I made that oil prediction, which is still valid, the one that we should peak in oil for several months over the next, when we hit the $95 peak. I mentioned, I think in August, that we should see a peak in oil in late September, beginning of October, which we did get. And despite the conflict, it has been kept being the top. Oh, by the way, today I saw a comment. I don't remember who posted it, but it was basically a comment around the Dixie. I think it was in our friend's Peter Schiff Twitter, because Peter Schiff is saying something like this, right? Oh, the Dixie is going down, so that's the dollar index, which means inflation is going to run rampant. And I've seen a bunch of people agreeing, oh, yeah, my God, with the dollar weaker. By the way, the dollar index, for those of you who don't know, is the dollar versus other basket of currencies, the euro, the yen, the Swiss franc, etc., right? And the idea is, if the dollar index goes down, then the import prices go tremendously up, and we have brutal inflation, right? This is the theory. Now, what I looked at was, okay, but why is he saying this? Because we had the dollar index is now at 101 point something, right? Between 2009 and 2021, the dollar index was between 77 and 102. Most of the times, almost every year, it was very close to high 80s, low 90s. Okay? And we recorded the period with the lowest inflation in history. So, you see, this is my point. This is the same story with the rate cuts. Oh, rate cuts is inflationary. Really? After 30 years of Japan, after 14 years or 15 years of the US and Europe, after China cutting rates and printing money right now, and they have deflation. How many more times do you need to see the same thing happen until you lose some of your arrogance? But this is the point, right? So I think I'll take the time in Christmas to kind of dismantle some of these narratives that seem to convince people. And the problem is, the reason why they convince them is because they sound logical. But the problem is, the economy is not a chess game. It's not, I move this here and this piece moves there and that. This is not like this. These are people, right? I mean, and if you're a guy like Peter Schiff, who's constantly, consistently, brutally wrong on almost everything, I would actually be at least less arrogant when it comes to these crazy predictions. But you know how it is. He needs to portray that and pretend that everything that he says is, no pun intended, gold, in order to sell you stuff. Since I don't have to sell you anything, I can actually tell you the truth. Surprise, surprise. So in that case, guys, I'll leave you right here. I wish you, if you don't see me again, I mean, I'm going to post a few videos still over the weekend, but in case you guys are off, from some nice holidays with the family and you probably don't want to be stuck on YouTube. So I wish you all happy holidays in advance. I wish you spend some time with your family that you enjoy. By the way, talk to them about me. Maybe they'll think I'm crazy. Maybe they don't. But if you do find value in this channel, don't forget, drop that like and subscribe. We are approaching the 850 subs. So thank you very much once again, and I'll catch you in the next one.